let's say, for the first Zorn, of course, it was like I wanted to have it all. I was so hungry of everything. So I would be more taking risks in the way I would be close to them and just hide. And I would even sometimes during concert really even go on stage, and there would be a guy like this just going and like that, and really like this. And then, of course, the third one, there was a sort of more calm on that, I would say, and also because of the previous editings, what could happen sometimes is, why didn't I stay longer? That's the problem with documentaries. Often is that you're always afraid not to film the right place. And in fact, it's happening here. So you do this, and shit, it's happening there. So you do this, and you can't use it. And you're always in the bad breath. And I would say there is something that I just paused. And I took out, of course, for this film, because it wasn't the feeling of this film, all the jokes he would do with the camera, with me. I kept some, but because there was the story of this piece that was a huge mountain. But then, the fact that and Barbara and John gave me those mails is more than confident. It's so beautiful, so intimate, so direct. So it would go through, let's say, And there is the aging, of course, because I saw the images of John in 2010, but that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And Barbara, how did she, was it, maybe just tell us a bit about what her presence meant to you in that film and how you perceived her, and yes.
Yeah, of course, filming I film without knowing what the film will be, not filming thinking the theme of this film will be Jumalataret. No, it's again when we are in the editing room with Caroline and we look at everything there is, that we perceive that there would be something very strong that happened, let's say, in the rehearsal room when they are together for the first time with Steve and the three of them, and this thing of before that moment, for John, the music was just in his head. It was just paper. And there, in fact, he listens. For the first time, it's incredible. So that's where, and with the males, that's where we felt that with Caroline, that it would be the center of the film. And, well, yes, it's Barbara and John wanted to work together for a long, long time. Really, before I knew Barbara, and it happened. And in fact, it happened. We see it in the ZORN 1 because we see Barbara going to the stone. It's there where he asked her in 2015. And then let's say that I remember Barbara 13 days before Lisbon thinking that she won't make it. Then, of course, it's an illusion of time in the film. I do it on purpose. We can think that the writing, the exchange was on several months, but in fact it's only 1 day and a half. But well, we created this. But in fact, she had doubt on 1 day and a half. And when she does the dance, the thing, that's where she's in it.
But how was that to film this doubt? Because if I was in
To
such
film
a
what?
this doubt, the struggle of her to because if I was having that doubt or that struggle, I wouldn't like you to be there to film it. No, I mean, it's a bit tricky.
I was so moved by the mail, by the openness of their exchange, that again there is a bit of cinema in it. I pushed with Caroline the fallout like that of Barbara, especially when she doesn't make it on one note and it stops and then you see her in the cafe. This is cinema.
I can live with that.
Because, in fact, that rehearsal went very well. Okay, at that moment, but it's normal. They work, you know. And Barbara has to deal with fright. It's very impressive. It's very... She's human. I mean, so... but I pushed that, yeah. A little, because this first letter was quite incredible. It's this thing about the wall. I'm used to having to go through walls in my life, but this one I'm not sure I can do it. And that's... And okay, and the guy says, well, maybe let's skip it, huh? We'll see another time. But he does it on purpose because he knows that it will. So, and yeah, and of course I took out also because the love story was between the two of them. That's why when we found this film, this Finnish film called Sampo, produced with Mosfilm at the time, I felt it was really like a love story between the two. And so I took out also all the fact that I have my private life with Barbara. For instance, when she looks at the camera, if I hadn't cut, she comes and she... But I took a lot of mellow at the end because they were really crying and everything. I mean, it was really discreet. But it's very impressive, this voyage. And then the work really was to edit with the score. I can read music that really couldn't... So that this music that can seem, oh, that's not my type of music, I don't... as you say, the people can't think it's written. And then just to try to share, you know. And also, because they're shown in the concerts, you have to know that this film was so programmed in Hamburg 1 hour before the public then went to see the concert. So there was the idea also not to show too much of the music, so that... Because, yes, as it said, the piece is 22 minutes, but you see little pieces of it, in fact.
So, yeah, you're invited to ask questions. Don't be shy. There's one in the very middle. Maybe, yeah, the mic is coming.
So, first of all, thank you for this wonderful film and happy birthday in advance.
Thank
you. And I wondered, because you included this very, very long rehearsal scene, and you elaborated on some points, but you included a lot of time before John came on stage. And I wanted to ask you on your thoughts on that. And, well, can we find the piece to listen to the whole thing? Or do we have to go to a concert to hear it? Is there a CD or not? Thank you.
No, they didn't record it. They were supposed to record it, and the COVID arrived.
Oh, no.
Because that was shot, in fact, in 2018. The film is mostly 2018, 2019. No, you have to wait. They continue to do that piece. And now John wrote other pieces for Barbara that she already performed, and she wants more now. She now when she sees that, she says, it's crazy that I had so much difficulties. She does other things of his. He will be 70 years old next year, so he's doing a big tour in Europe. And I know that they're doing Jumalataret and other pieces with 50. There's all his musicians. But Jumalataret, yes, they're going to do it in November or something like that. But not in Vienna. They're going Italy, France, Holland. Yeah.
There was another. You had another question in the beginning, no?
Yeah. It was a good question, and I forgot it.
Yeah.
It was about the very long rehearsal scenes.
Yes. Well, I was a bit proud of that, to be able to stay a long time. I think it's about 35 minutes in that room. And I thought a lot about Westerns, you know. They're separated. They only write to each other. And when will they be in the same room? And it's after 40 minutes of film. That is true. This one is, and the text of Patrick is great on that. It's done like a fiction. It's true. This one, we really called it Rocky. In fact, it's like Rocky. It's exactly the same story. And we really had titles of scenes like that. Is she going to do it? It's too hard. She's going to fall. No, she doesn't. She goes back. And then we would call it Barbara enzornée. That means being caught by Zorn. And those were the scenes where you discover that, by chance, I filmed Barbara at the New Morning in Paris, listening to the music with the other musicians. So then you find something. So it's more the noise, the guitar, and so then I find shots of my private life with Barbara where she has this guitar, and she was making jokes on me at that shot. It's because I was preparing Tralala of the Larieux, and I had to play guitar, and so she's just doing a Led Zeppelin thing, Guitar Hero, and so I use also things of private life that could tell something of the, but it's very written. It's this one, suspense, happy ending. No, really love story. And also one that gave us the courage to have a long scene of rehearsal. It's because Caroline, the editor, had just seen Get Back, the film on the Beatles from Peter Jackson on Disney Plus. You know, it's 9 hours. You absolutely have to see this. This is one of the most beautiful stuff it's absolutely extraordinary. And it's 9 hours. And you're like, you see them work this last album they did together, the songs that arrive. And that gave us the breathing, the courage. Yes, it is interesting. And then it was technical, so that the piece is really in order and with the score. And so that I could see exactly what they were searching. What is the problem? What are they working on? Why, when he asks her to do the re, the D note like that, and not to pronounce it, why? What is her problem, in fact? It's because after she's a cappella, so she has to find the fa. And so I could see it. I could understand what was her problem. So that's why he said, that's why you need the D. And that's how he gets the idea of ding, that Steve can give her. That's why he says, do you need a note? And which note? And so.
There's another question right next to all of you. Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, sorry for my English, and then I really have to thank you because I only knew John Zorn from this Naked City grindcore stuff, and all I thought was weird shit and great, but I didn't really understood it. And now I see this really sensitive and complex side of him, and now I think I really understand him, and I also think I listened to the song or the piece without really listen to it. So I think the movie is from a really sensitivity and shows a really deep understanding from his work. And so my question, how do you prepare for such a film? Do you read the piece before and studied all the notes? And so because it really looks like this to me. So how do you do this?
No, I don't prepare. I don't prepare because I don't know that the film will be on that piece. I just try to be like the musicians. That's what I was saying last time. Just trying to use my camera like if I had the chance to be a musician and to be there, to breathe with them. So everything I film, I try to be there. That's all. And then the work on the piece, on the music, that's really with the score in the editing. And then asking question to John, asking question to Barbara. And then, yes, I know the piece by heart. Yes. But afterwards, not before. The preparation is very, very technical, in fact. It's not to do the same mistake than last time where your battery is off, you filmed on top of another card and you lost the images, the sound, shit, that one was not on. That's in fact what the focus. Because I'm using Voigtlander, it's that's why you hear tick, 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 tick. It's not a cinema lens, because the Voigtlander opens at 0.9, so I'm totally tranquille. I can do, and it's beautiful. And but the focus is the contrary of a cinema. It's the other way around. If you want to go close, it's not the same thing, and that happens all the time. I always go in the wrong direction. So I prepare on that sort of. What I do, in fact, I'm home, and I just prepare myself more on the focus. My job really is the focus. That's, because things like that. And for the sound, it's incredible, the objects that they can invent now, really. I mean, this thing that falls, the old H2 that I love, that I have, it's incredible, in fact. Because, yes, at that moment, yes, I had lost all the sound from before. So it's only the sound of the camera for all that. But then we really work with a sound editor and a mix so that there is a musical pleasure. That's really important.
Yeah. There's another question right behind. Yeah.
Bonsoir, Mathieu.
Bonsoir.
Would you excuse my French? One remark about the film. We have the feeling that it's long, but when we see her dressed the same way, I think this is one of the clues who tells you at some point it's not so long. It's probably only one day, otherwise she would change her clothes. That's what I thought. When you tell me now it's only one 35 minutes rehearsal, it makes a lot of sense. But again, and it's really well done, because the fiction is really a big part of this film. my question now is not about the film. It's more like a remark. We've met last year. You were late to catch your flight back to Paris, and you were stuck. Door closed. You couldn't catch the bus, and I was even later than you. And you had. We had 10 minutes, and you could tell me how much love you had about the Viennale festival, and maybe you can tell us more about this, the pleasure you have to come here. Not every year, but maybe that's something you can share.
Yeah, of course. Well, you know, it's the idea of the Viennale Festival of Eva that saw the film. They were just shown at the Cinéma du Réel, and I don't know, she had... Again, those films are not supposed to be shown in a film festival, and I was so moved that she wanted this to be part of the paysage of the Viennale this year. And so I had time to see films. Yesterday I saw 3 films, and now I can go and see films. And I don't sleep a lot. That's dangerous. I met incredible people, even more than filmmakers, I would say, the people who work in all the cinematheque in the world, the people who bring Ondo, who bring the Japanese filmmaker that I didn't have time to see, to see the films of Ellen May. I mean, all those people who don't sleep also a lot. That was last night. No, it's really very precious. And there's no competition, no, not too much market. There's no market, you know. Normally there's no journalist. There was some this morning, but it's just people watching films, you know. And it's really, it's great. And yeah, and what you said before, I know it's very impressive when you think that they're creating a new piece and they just rehearse twice with Barbara and Steve alone. One rehearsal, I didn't go, I left them alone, you know. I filmed the first rehearsal. They rehearsed, 2 hours? 2 hours, 3 hours. Then they rehearsed the next day. And then the long rehearsal, it was maybe 2 hours in the real time. The one that is 35 minutes in the film. And that's all. And they come 2 days before, 3 days before to create a piece. And John has to take care of all the other venues, musician. There were 40 musicians, lots of concerts. You see some of them. It's everywhere. And then I think the fact that you have the time, it's also their spirit of capacity of joy. There's no seriousness. They just...
There's a question in the back right.
I just want to say thank you for the films. I saw the other two also. And for this film, I would like to know what's the relation of the film at the beginning and at the end to the whole piece?
Because the piece is inspired by Finnish pagan goddesses, by the Kalevala, that is a Finnish legends, you know, with the goddess of the wind, the goddess of the forest, the goddess that are those characters that she is incarnating in the voice. And so I was searching for a Finnish film where there would be that world, and I didn't find any, especially in the Finnish silent films. I thought there would be something, and they didn't. There wasn't, and I only found this not very good film. But because I wanted it to be a sort of really John saying, I want you to sing my music. Would you like to? It was very romantic, and I didn't see it as a joke. And when John is on the wood, the guy in the film, for me it's exactly the risks, the incredible risks that John takes in his life and his music, going on a love stream. And then at the end, I could feel that the film had no more irony. There's no irony. It becomes really something very warm when we find them again happy, and the village that comes and listens to the music. And I liked it. But that's because it's a Finnish goddesses, Kalevala, like the piece. Jumalataret means in Finnish goddesses, plural. Jumala is God. Jumala.
So you prepared, huh? That is more preparation, as you told us. Because you said you didn't prepare.
No, that's not preparing. That's things I find in the editing after.
And after, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. When we see with Caroline that there is something that seems to be like a zoom on that piece, and then it was also, we knew there was the males. What could I put on the males? Of course, I had the idea to ask Barbara to read her mails and John to read his mails. I didn't, and then I tried to do it me, like if there was a point of view, my presence in a way, the fact that I passed the, but what do you put on those mails? I wasn't gonna film Barbara on her computer. You see what I mean? What image do you put? Okay, so no. And I said to Caroline, je vais pas filmer. Ouais, c'est ça. Qu'est-ce que a screen with letters that arrive. I mean, you had to find something. And we try a lot of things, and I felt we laughed. We thought it would be ridiculous. And I said, no, I think it's, continue. And it became, and then there was a sort of chance that there was the lip sync that seemed to go with the girl. Kalevala, it worked. And then I found it exactly John hoping that she will do it. And how he gets her after I think he really gets her when he says, but there's only 1 minute of music, your difficulties. Don't you like the 22 other minutes? And I think that's where she says, no, but of course I love you. No, I'll go. But it is a very, very difficult piece, Now she sings it, memory now.